So we got to start this all over again. And hello, everyone, and good day. My name is Antoine Craigwell, and I'm President and CEO of DBGM. Um, Today, we are doing something that we've now adopted as a standard for all of our conferences, our In My Mind conferences. And that is that we host a workshop prior to the conference for our presenters and speakers to, first of all, get a sense of tech needs and to prepare for the conference, because now all of our conferences moving forward as a result of the pandemic will be hybrid. So there will be an in-person component as well as an online or a Zoom component, which allows people around the country and around the world to participate in the In My Mind conference. We've been doing this since 2016, but now even more, it becomes important. So today's presentations will be in two parts. We will have a tech rehearsal with all of our presenters and speakers for this year's In My Mind conference. One of our speakers is India Harville, who's coming to us from Arizona. So India will be presenting online. And so this is particularly important for India, but it's also important for many of the other presenters during the conference. And working with us on the tech side of stuff is Shomari Williams, who is based in Guyana in South America. And he worked with us last year. And so we've invited him and asked him to come back and join us again this year to help us with tech so that I don't have to be stressing and running around, and aging before your eyes during the conference. So then the second part of the of today, Eleanor Coley-Brody from the Helen Keller Center is going to do a accessibility workshop on, particularly for you presenters, what you need to do to prepare your presentations to be ready and accessible to different disabled communities. And this is coming to you, compliments of the Helen Keller Center. Eleanor is one of the conference team's planning members, but she's also one of the presenters at the conference. I know that also online with us is Lisette Marrero, and Lisette is one of the planning team members. She is now like a part of the furniture. She's like me, so she's connected. She's been connected with us since 2017. And so Lisette brings significant amounts of knowledge and experience to planning the conference, as well as a lot of observations and community feedback. And she has specific responsibilities in the conference planning process. So I am grateful that Lisette is here. And she also helps keep me on track and slaps me down when I may be tempted to get out of turn or say something stupid. So and there Lisette is going to wave. I mean, I was like, really? All right. So thank you. And now, community members, let me hand you over to Shomari. Shomari, yours.
So hi everyone. I'm sorry for the lack of video on my end. I'm not in a space where I can allow videos to be shared right now. So I just want to say firstly that for all that are involved in the organization of this conference, it's always necessary for these type of things to be executed, and there's a lot of merit to the people who seek out to do these things. I am going to be basically your technical support for the conference, and my experiences in technology. I've worked in Guyana, where I live, for a very long time in the tech industry. I work for the Guyana Defense Force. I've worked for the University of Guyana. I'm also one of the only Guyanese that has a very special award that recognizes my contributions to the internet and what's not. Uh, in terms of tech and my familiarity with the Zoom platform. I am very au fait with the platform in of itself. I've received training, I've given training in the platform. So it's safe to say that you're in good hands. So I don't know what else to say to you all. Just know that once you have a tech requirement, you can pass it by me and I'll see how feasible it is and how possible we can make it, or if there are any workarounds for anything that's necessary. In the last conference, I think that it was executed very successfully. I'm looking forward to an easier time this year, but nevertheless, I'll be here to support regardless of what happens. Mr. C, you need anything else from me?
I'm just thinking that maybe do you want to build a few of the breakout rooms so that we can practice people going into breakout rooms? Because you're all presenters, what we want to be able to do at the conference is that in each of the breakout rooms, we will launch the Zoom and create breakout rooms so that people who may be looking online can actually choose a breakout room, which will be the room that you are in. So like, for example, if we look at the program on session 1, let me just take a moment here to pull up the conference website. If you also have the conference website and you're able to go to the program, okay, let me share my screen so that you guys can, so that you can see what I'm talking about. So Shamari, would you create a couple of breakout rooms so that people can go in? I take it that people can see my screen. So what we want to be able to do during the conference is choose a breakout room. Okay, so Shamari's created 3 rooms: room 1, room 2, room 3. And so let's call room 1 BA1, room 2 B1A is room 1, B1B is room 2, and B1C is room 3. And let's choose a room to go in just to make sure we can get into those rooms and we can function in those rooms, we can participate in those rooms, and then we can come back out. Shamari, can you set the timer for maybe 2 or maybe 5 minutes to close the rooms and bring everybody back to the main room?
I can do that. Allow me to do that now. Just do not join the room. Nobody joins the room. Let me fix that first.
So the idea is that at the conference, while the conference is happening in person, so let's say Eleanor goes into BA1 room, then BA1 room will be highlighted on Zoom. Are you guys with me? Show me a thumbs up so that I know that, people are hearing me. Lindsay will go into B1B, and B1B in that room will be highlighted on Zoom. So in the physical room, there will be laptops that everybody can access. The other thing that we need to talk about, and I think Eleanor is going to bring this up at her point, is that if you are going to have your presentation on a flash drive, please also send me your presentation as a backup so that I can have your presentation with me in the event there is some problem with you accessing your presentation. Okay? Just in case, just in the event your file on your flash drive becomes corrupted or something else happens, please send me your presentation. Now, I will ask you to send me your presentation after Eleanor has finished her workshop, because there may be changes that Eleanor is going to recommend that you may need to incorporate into your presentation. Are you guys with
And
me? I
Antoine?
see you. I see you, India. I see you. So does that make sense? Does everybody understand and agree with what I'm saying? Okay. Um. Yes, India. Your question.
This is India speaking. I don't know if Eleanor is going to talk about this, but for people who are participating on Zoom, and I guess we should clarify, the model is that there's people in a collective space attending on Zoom, but there may be people who are coming from their own living room.
Yes.
And then when we go into breakout rooms, are we reassigning CART to breakout spaces? It's quite difficult. And what about sign language? Will the interpreters be available in those spaces as well? So that's just something I'm trying to figure out.
I can tell you that for the sign interpreters in the breakout rooms only on request. Okay? Because there are two things. So one is that we want to be able to preserve the interpreters, the sign language interpreters, because we know that it takes a lot of physical toll on their bodies. So we want to be able to preserve that, preserve them. But also we recognize that many of the breakout rooms become somewhat intimate between the facilitator and the presenter in terms of the presenter and what they're talking about and how people, attendees, participate or interact. And it could become a little intimate, a little, so we want to also preserve some degree of privacy into that breakout space as a sub-safe space of the overall conference. And so interpreters will be available on request on the breakouts, in the breakout rooms. I don't know if Eleanor is going to be able to talk about how we will transfer CART over into on Zoom for anybody who's looking or participating online. And that is a very valuable question because LaBey and the Pennsylvania Public Library we may also need to know that for their communities at the library. So let's just keep that for a moment. Yes, Eleanor.
This is Eleanor speaking. We typically do not use breakout rooms. And historically, what I've seen when others do breakout rooms is that the captions do not follow the breakout room. So like, for example, you have the main room and I go into the breakout room and I keep the captions on. It's still running based on what's happening in the main room. Whoever's talking in there, that's where the captions are coming from. I have not personally found a solution to make breakout rooms accessible in terms of captioning. But we don't really use them, so I've never had a need to figure it out. And in terms of interpreters, making sure it's assigned to the room that the person is requesting, that part I think is the easy part. So sorry, I can't be of much help in that area.
Thanks, Eleanor. Shamari, can you provide some insight into this? Is there something that could be done? So for example, when we go into breakout rooms, we stop the closed captioning from the main room so that when people go into their individual breakout rooms, the presenter can activate the captioning on the Zoom, that it is possible that the caption can then take over for that particular breakout. Is that a feature or something that we could have, or is just caption not going to be available?
No, I'm pretty certain. Okay, so our breakout room traditionally worked. It's just another instance of the Zoom chat, and the same functionalities that exist within the main Zoom chat should also exist within inside the breakout room. So what happens is that we can make the person that goes into the breakout room, and so sorry for this, the breakout rooms are about to end. Well, they just ended because of the 5-minute timeout. But nevertheless, we allow people inside of the breakout rooms to have this host feature or co-host role. So they are in control of said breakout room each person could be assigned. But the thing about it is that when you think about logistics and people not showing up or people not being on time or something like that, or people not doing their breakout rooms, it becomes a little more complex. It's more of a logistics problem than a technical problem. It then becomes more of a logistics problem instead of a technical problem.
Yes, India.
This is India speaking. My understanding is that you can assign captions in one breakout room, but only one. And it's kind of tedious because you have to reassign the CART practitioner, like reconnect them within that breakout room space. It's kind of difficult.
Mhm.
There's some tech workarounds that I can share at a later time because I know we're a little off topic, but I just wanted to share that.
No, it's not. It's not off topic, India. This is actually perfect for what we're talking about because this is all part of the tech rehearsal, and what you're talking about also feeds into what Eleanor will be talking about. So it's all about accessibility. So please, if you have anything that you would want to share, and I would suggest that maybe Shamari, if we can try doing the breakouts again for another 5 minutes, so that everybody can go into the breakouts, just so we can test them, and maybe try activating the captioning in the breakouts. So let's appoint one person in each breakout, okay? Just to, oh, but that person, so it means
Oh,
that
I'll just leave
Eleanor,
one breakout open. I'll leave one breakout open and everybody could join the breakout for the time being. So we could see it all work from the same point of view and then leave and come back. But it's
okay, hang on. Yes, India?
Are we having CART? Or are we talking about Zoom's AI captioning?
Zoom's AI captioning, the default,
So we're
the
not
closed
having
captioning,
CART.
negative,
We are
negative.
working to try to get CART. The New York State Office of Mental Health is going to be trying to help get CART. And so I was hoping that Talia would be here from the state because they're providing the ASL interpreters, and they know about the CART that we have asked about. They're also going to be helping to provide Spanish language translation, simultaneous Spanish language translation. So I don't know yet. I don't know if Talia is on. Um, if she is, then she can, speak about this. If not, then we will probably have to wait until I can get contact with her to figure out how they're going to do that or when they're going to be present.
So then definitely if we're trying to have CART and we're having language translation, I agree with Eleanor. You probably want separate links for the workshops because you can't transfer the language translation into breakout rooms either.
Right. So I'll just make this clear that the advice that I was giving was based on the assumption that we were using the default Zoom features rather than the external plugins integrated using Cart and whatnot. So I do agree fully with what you're saying that if CART is to be integrated into the system and introduced as the main way of doing the captioning and translation, then separate set of Zoom meetings would be the best bet.
So that means creating 18 separate breakout rooms.
Not breakout rooms, but specifically Zoom meetings.
Zoom meetings, 18 separate links.
Aye.
And then loading that plug-in to each one.
Aye.
Okay. Let's talk about that after this, Shamar, to figure out if this is something we can do and how that can be done. Just to ensure that there's equal accessibility across the board. So can we practice going into one of the rooms?
You got to start room right now. Only one breakout room is available in the lower, I guess for you all, it will be the left-hand corner, right-hand corner rather. You just click on the breakout room
So
and
let's
join
just
the
all,
only active room.
yeah, so let me just join. We'll start my So 4 minutes remaining in this breakout. So it continues to record in here. Okay. So is everybody in the breakout, or how do people feel? Is it easy? Any problems getting into the breakout? Yes or no?
There were no issues.
Okay. Thanks, Lisette.
Welcome.
Worked fine. Okay, Lindsay, thank you. So Eleanor, then the big question now is as is being suggested, to create 18 different Zoom links and then to figure out adding cart to each one. Yes, Eleanor.
This is Eleanor speaking. You can also just have a link for the room. You have all these different rooms that are being used throughout the day for different workshops. So if you have, for example, 4 rooms, and each one is going to have a variety of workshops throughout the day, you can have one link for each room, physical at Hofstra room. So you know, I want to attend this workshop at this time. I'm going to use that link. And it's the same one throughout the entire day for that physical room. Just a way to minimize the number of links that need to be created.
So then I may only need to have 6 rooms actually,
6.
because the theater is 1 plus the other 5 rooms. So 6 rooms, and each of those 6 links will have to have the cart attached to them as opposed to 18. And so, okay. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense too. So it means that throughout the entire day, that would be the link that would be used. But then it means at the end of each breakout session, or when we're coming back to the general session, somebody online will now have to flip out of the breakout link and go back to the original link.
This is Eleanor speaking. What I'm proposing is to completely drop the breakout room. It's not going to be accessible on a variety of levels. So you're going to have to stick with the traditional Zoom link and just have it for...
No, I understand what you're saying, Eleanor, but what I'm saying is, if we create 6 Zoom links, okay? There is still going to be a 7th Zoom link for the general sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are finished in a breakout room, or in one of the rooms in a breakout session, and we come back for a general session, they will have to leave that one link to come back into the general session.
Right.
So they're going to have to go back to the first original link, is what we started with.
Correct.
What do you guys think in terms of, particularly for, yes, Ella, and I want to hear what India and LaBay, who are actually more distant right now, what your thoughts are about being able to leave the link that is used in that particular room to come back out into another link, which is the original general sessions link. But you had a question just now, Eleanor.
Yes, but what about